Hey gang, a different version of this video recently got muted. I think I understand why, and I'm going to change it a bit and repost. Anyway, I just want to give you a preview of what we're going to cover in this lesson. Here's the first part that we'll cover. I think this makes sense, hopefully. You get the picture. Here's the second part. And we'll cover how to play a slide solo without a slide. All right, so that's what we're going to cover. Hey, if you like this video, give it a like and or a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, subscribe for one of these every week. Okay, gang, first things first, download the tab from the link in the description below. Definitely going to make your life a lot easier. Second thing, I want to talk about the structure of the lesson, and then we'll get to it. There are three distinct parts, the way I see it, to what we're going to cover today. The first will be this jazzy bit. Second bit will be what I'll call the rock riff. All right, and third bit will be the solo. So let's cover the first things first. So first let's do the jazzy bit. And one of the things I want to mention at the outset, you'll saw me tapping on pedals and switching my pickups and stuff like this. It's going to help a lot if you have a guitar with two pickups, but not only that, two volume controls. And the reason is this song has a tremendous amount of dynamic range. It's one of the things that, in my opinion, makes it a great song. It has a lot of soft parts and a lot of very loud parts, like the song Ramble On and a couple of other ones on Led Zeppelin 2. It does that. It gives it a lot of impact. So you want to be able to do that. We'll start out the first bit, the jazzy bit. It is one of the soft bits. So I'm using the neck pickup, and I've got the volume on around 3. Yours is going to vary, of course. You'll have a different tone or a different volume knob. But there's nothing else on it. You wanted a clean sound, okay? So this is what it is right here. It's really only two chords. This is an A6th or an A13th. They're basically the same chord, so you can look at it either way, okay? So an eighth, let's call this an A13th, and an E9. Now I've got them in the tab, but let's go over them just because there's only two of them. I'm playing on the 5, 4, 3, and 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, and 2 strings. And I've got open on the 5. On the 4, I've got the 5th string. On the 4th string, I've got the 5th fret. 3rd string, 6th fret. 2nd string, 7th fret. Okay? Playing that open A is optional. So you can play it like this, or you can play it like this. There's a bass player in there playing lots of A's, so no sweat on that. Second one's an E9. Most of you are probably familiar with that one, but let's just spell it out. 5th through 2nd strings I've got 7, 6, 7, 7. Whole thing together. Sounds good. Now you can play around a little bit with that one, as Page does on the album. Plays, you know, a slightly different different chord. So he'll play a 7th, or he'll play an open string here and there. But that's a basic pattern. And the strumming pattern is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's that for that part, okay? Now, at the end of that, you're going to, I kick onto my bridge pickup, and I have the volume up full, okay? I also tap on a booster pedal. What I'm not doing is I'm not adding any distortion, okay? It's the natural breakup. As you know, I have a Les Paul here, so humbucking pickups are going to break up a little bit, or they tend to break up the amp a little bit. So that's what I've done right there. Don't add like a lot of distortion. It's just not going to sound right. Okay, so here's the riff we're going to talk about now. All right, so that bit is kind of like the Ted Nugent Stranglehold lick. All right, but it of course preceded that. So, but we're playing the same sort of thing. We're playing an open A, and then on the 5th string, and then on the 4th string we're playing 5 and hammering on to 7. I think you want to emphasize not playing both of those notes. You want to emphasize the note on the 4th string, as that's sort of the line that's really sort of sticking out. All right, and the more you emphasize that 5th string, the less you can hear that. That sounds good, but if you listen to the record, it's more emphasis on the 4th string, so you want to put that. So you just hit the 5th string once if you can. All right. All right, so here I'm hammering on from 5th to 7th, and then hammering on from 4th to 5th. And in this case, I'm pulling off on the last one to an open, and then hammering on 2nd to 4th. All right, and pulling off to open. Now, if you pull off to the 4th or pull off to the 2nd, it sounds good too. Both of them are fine, and this is rock. This is, in fact, it's even Led Zeppelin. So, you know, if you hit an extra string once, or you hit a different note once in a while, it's going to be fine. It's all okay. Both of them sound good. So, pulling off to the open string sounds like this. And pulling off to the next string in the riff sounds like this. Both of those sound great. All right? All right. The last 2 chords are basically a D chord with an A in the bass, and then an A chord. All right, so the D in the bass is open, or the D with an A in the bass is open 5th string, 4th string 4th fret, 3rd string 2nd fret, 2nd string 3rd fret. Here it is. And then just an A chord, right? I'm not playing that top string. 5 through 2 only. Put it together, sounds like this. You play that whole thing twice, and then you go into this. Pretty straightforward, I guess, but it's unique, that's for sure. Well, it sounds kind of like the Dear Prudence thing. But anyway, we're going to start out with a B chord, and here I'm only playing the 5, 4, and 3 strings. Now you can either arpeggiate it or play it like this. You can either arpeggiate it, or you can play it as just all the stroking chords. All right, next thing you do is that's just a B chord, okay, B power chord. Then you open up the 5th string to just play it open instead of at the 2nd, so it's now open in 4/4. Now you go to 6th string, 4th fret, and chords going out of that are an E chord and then a B chord. Okay, so that's just a straight E chord. Now an F sharp chord, F sharp major, A power chord, that last part is 6th string bending up on a 3rd, about a 1/4 step, and then an open E, but here you're just playing on the 6th and 5th strings. Open 6th string and 5th string 2nd fret. And you'll notice that you're getting quiet at the end of that, so you're quieting down at the end of it. So let me play the whole thing together so you hear it. That's it for the second part. Okay, let's go over the solo now. Now, as I said before, I am not using a slide, so we're going to try a couple of other tricks. So I'm staying with that rock sound, but I'm adding 2 effects. I'm adding reverb, and I'm adding a little bit of analog delay as well. And that's just going to allow me to get a little bit more out of my vibrato and try some of those slidey things, have them echo a little bit more to make it sound a little bit more like a slide. If you don't have delay, you can add just a little more reverb, and that helps. Okay, so let's start out. Here's the first line. Actually, it's the first 2 lines of the solo because they're both the same. So here we go. Here's the first line of the solo. Okay, so here we're starting out on the 4th string, 9th fret. I should say, technically this is an A, but I'm not thinking about that at all. I'm just thinking about the chords. And actually, I'm just thinking about the solo. I really just learned this by ear and thought about where it was here. And you just have a feel for it. And one of the reasons is because a lot of the stuff I'm doing to make it sound like a slide, I'm staying on the same string, so I'm switching between positions quite a bit. This one's going to start out on the 9th fret, 4th string. We're going to play 9th to 11th, and then 3rd string, 9th, 11th, and bend it up a full step. Twice, and then we'll play 11th and slide it down to the 6th on the 3rd string, okay? Give that lots of vibrato. So you play that twice, as I said. If you want to on the second time, you can add in an additional note there, and it might sound good. There's an additional note on the album, so you can do that if you'd like. So that sounds good, I think. And here, all I'm really doing is I'm playing on those bends. I'm adding the 12th on the 2nd string. And then on a slide, I'm putting in the 10th on the 2nd string, and then sliding it down, so I'm playing the 6th and the 5th. If you like how that sounds, great, use it. If you don't like how that sounds, just play it the straight way. Okay, here's the next line. Okay, tough line. So here, what I'm doing is I'm trying to imitate the slide guitar a little bit by sliding up. Okay, so I'm sliding up from I'm barring on the 10th and on the 10th fret, but I'm barring the first 2 strings, and I'm sliding up to the 12th. and then I'm sliding back down to the 10th. When I come back down to this note right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend up. So I'm essentially bending up. That's a full step twice. And then I'm bending up slowly a two-step bend, okay? 2 steps. Now, that is tough on your fingers, so make sure you give it lots of support and make sure you're using light strings. It's going to help a lot. So it sounds like this. Here's the... I'm bending all the way up to this. And notice it's done in 2 stages. Woo, woo. Here's the next line. Very similar. Here we're playing a 2nd string 12th, and then we're playing the 14th and bending up really a step and a half. So you're kind of getting up to this note, but not quite. You cut it off beforehand. And you can slide down to that 12th if you want to give it a more slidey feel. And then we're playing again our bend on the 10th, 2nd string, 10th, full step bend. And then hitting it, bringing it down, playing the 8th. And again, there's our 2-step bend. We're bending up. That is, again, tough. This time we're just we're bending it slowly up that 2 steps. All right, here's the line again. Okay, the last parts are really easy. Here we're just going up to a A chord. Really just pretending we have a bottleneck on this one. So I'm only using 1 string, barring across the 14th and playing the 4, 3, and 2 strings there. See me giving a lot of vibrato to it, okay? You do that twice. 3rd time you go up to the 16th fret. That's an A chord. Now we're going up to a B chord. Okay, so that's at the 16th fret. And then the final line is this. So that is, we're playing essentially over an A chord again. We're back into A. We've gone up to B, now we're going back to A. And we're playing on the 2nd string, we're playing 16th, bending that up a half step. And then we're playing the 16th, then we're playing the 4th theme. And then playing 14th on the 4th, 14th on the 3rd. And then on the 16th, we're going to do the following. We're bending a little bit. So we're trying to bend up a whole step, but again, we're trying to do it kind of smoothly. In the end, we're bringing it back down to this 14th, and you hear me giving all that vibrato. Let me see if I can demonstrate that one more time. And then it trails off. Of course, in the album, Jimmy Page uses that really cool slide at the end. I can't quite do that without the slide, but there you go. Well, there you go. The 2 riffs, the 2 beginning riffs, and the solo from What Is and What Should Never Be. A real Led Zeppelin classic from Led Zeppelin 2. Hope you liked it. We'll see you on down the road.